Welcome back to Bio News Network. We're working on our Vol.2 Chapter 2 of our Perfect English Grammar series. I hope that it's coming into great benefit for you as you prepare for your standardized exams, whether it be the TOEFL, SAT, or any other standardized exams. We've covered quite a bit of vocabulary so far, so we're hoping to get more and more into our list of vocabulary terms, and then we're going to start using them a lot more in reading comprehension exercises. We do emphasize using these words and finding their synonyms, even their antonyms, and also any kinds of associated words so that you'll be able to increase your memory recall for your exams or preparation of documents, or just simply increasing your vocabulary for everyday use. So let's take a look at the answer sheet from our previous chapter, Volume 2, Chapter 1, and we can see here that this is the answer sheet for the word to synonym match, and you can see for abjure it was repudiate, and we did go ahead and make that correction. We apologize for antedate, which is correlating to the synonym precede. Arduous, the synonym is strenuous. Beneficent is going to be charitable. You can actually see the prefix to that word, which means it's good. In this case, charitable. Crafty is cunning. We see coagulate, and we can look at the prefix of that word. We're going to be emphasizing looking at the prefix or suffix of the word to help you to increase the retention of the definition of the word and mapping it to its synonym. So we see that coagulate is there for synonym thicken, ephemeral, and you should associate that with the synonym fleeting. Fulminate, protest, guile, and that's going to be craftiness. Indigence, poor is a synonym, and inadvertent, careless, and myopic, synonym would be short-sighted. So those are the synonym matches for the words that we covered in the previous chapter. And of course, we're going to offer you the synonym matching exercise template for this chapter once we're done going over our new set of 12 words that we're going to use in this chapter. Let's just recap on a little bit of grammar rules. We're going to take a look at the present perfect continuous mode, which is associated with an action started in the past and has continued up to the present moment. It basically points to the duration of an event and the amount of time that has taken place. So the difference between present perfect and present perfect continuous, as you can see, is that the action has completed, whereas present perfect continuous, ongoing event or activity. And we can see some of the pronouns there. They're all the same pronouns, but we can see how the difference between the two tenses, present perfect and present perfect continuous, I have written versus I have been writing, or he has written, or he has been writing, or the negative of which, I have not written, he has not written, or I have not written versus I have not been writing, or he has not written versus he has not been writing. So the reason we're taking a look at the tenses and also different exercises, here is just a quick checklist of benefits of word synonym matching and reading comprehension exercises. Allows you to think critically, draw inferences, comprehend and understand nomenclature, review word structure as well as each synonym, understand concepts such as prefix, suffix, and the root, increase your word recall power for standardized exams. We also try to help you with different mapping, such as the techniques we use with our word synonym templates to help you remember words and also to diversify your English writing. and effectively basically improve your communication better between you and others. So there's a lot of benefits there. Let's take a quick look at just a reading comprehension exercise. We just want to expose you to the words, and then we'll take another look at this after. Here we can see many historians believe that cupidity has a role in the decay of society. That gives you an idea of what the word cupidity means. When we expand it, we see, however, its declivity can also be sourced to corruption. So that first sentence inclines towards a negative prospect. Plus, simply put, greed and corruption are believed to be the root causes of society's moral decay. And we take another look at reading comprehension exercise number 2. Historians will study the propagation of the 2019 global virus for many years to come, and medical professionals will reflect on the efficacy of medical-induced coma and its correlative relationship to the survival rate. So there we can see that propagation most likely means, increase or to reproduce. And the word efficacy has to do with the effectiveness. And then correlative would be the relationship between different elements. So take a look at reading comprehension exercise number 3. Teenagers have a tendency to rebel against their parents' officious intrusion into their privacy. And that will be one of the words that we're using, officious, that we're going to be referring to in this chapter. We're going to look at, we're just exposing you to the words so that you can start doing the brain mapping to the possible meaning, taking a look at possible suffix, possible prefix, even the root of the word if you're not sure. And we continue with that exercise, a type of inference that is often the principal's root of discord between parents, principal root of discord between parents and their teenage children. So that's just a reading exercise comprehension. We'll take a look at it again once we take a close look at our words for today. So let's take a look at some of the words that we're going to be looking at today. We're looking at bele. We're also looking at cacophony, contentious, cupidity, declivity, edify, officious, pious, probidity, propagate, sardonic, and stasis. So those are the 12 words we're going to be looking at in this chapter. The words are getting a little bit more complicated, a little bit harder to pronounce, and that's okay because we are stretching and expanding our vocabulary universe as we increase with 12 new words with each chapter. As we get further into each chapter and each volume, we're going to be taking a closer look at more complicated words. A lot of times you can actually break down the word if you've are not familiar with the word by looking at the prefix or suffix of the word, or actually looking at the root of the word, or any kind of clues in the word structure, and also how it may be used in a sentence can give you an idea, and that's how you'll actually be able to increase your recall power. So let's take a look at some of these words and their meanings today. Bele, sample sentence: the story that the victim's sister told about the house robbery belayed the police investigator's account of the crime. Verb meaning contradict. So it contradicted one story to the other. And the next word is a little bit tongue twister, cacophony. And the sample sentence: the cacophony of the screams and the whining from the dog overwhelmed its owner when trying to break up the dog fight at the park. So there we can see it's actually used as a noun, which means harsh. Contentious. Sample sentence: the use of GMO, genetically modified organism, in the production of food products is a very contentious issue for consumers worldwide. There you can see it has a negative connotation, in this case adjective meaning controversial. Let's take a look at 3 more: cupidity, declivity, and edify. And we can see from our list here, cupidity. Sample sentence: many historians speculate that cupidity is responsible for the decay of society. We did expose you to this term if you weren't familiar with it from our initial look at our three reading comprehension exercises. And it's a noun meaning greed. So you can actually see in the reading comprehension exercise that it did point to former or latter in the second sentence. And if you were able to do a correlation, you would see that that word cupidity most likely meant the word greed. So now you've actually fortified your vocabulary recalling power now by associating a former or latter in the sentence to the word itself as well as its meaning, which was elaborated in a second sentence in that reading comprehension exercise. So we look at declivity, sample sentence: the Caribbean diaspora believe that corruption is at the heart of poverty in the West Indies. Noun meaning downward slope or decline. Declivity, edify, sample sentence: during the pandemic, parents resorted to edifying their kids using relaxation music. Verb meaning to enlighten. Verb meaning to enlighten. So as we take a closer look at our next set, officious, pious, and probity, and we can actually see here from our definitions and the usage in a sentence, officious, sample sentence: high school counselors are often labeled by students as officious and meddlesome school officials. Adjective meaning always eager to offer unwanted advice. And then we look at pious, sample sentence: the Pope is viewed by millions of people in South America as the highest ranking pious representative of the Vatican Church. Adjective meaning devout. Devout, pious, devout. And then probity, sample sentence: most parents seek to improve the level of probity when communicating with their children. Noun meaning honesty. Probity, noun meaning honesty. And then we look at propagate, sardonic, and we look at the word stasis. Let's see what they actually mean if you've never actually seen these words before. And propagate, sample sentence: by the time the police completed their investigation of the riot, rage had propagated throughout the entire neighborhood. Propagate, verb meaning reproduce. So it also could be a synonym: increase or spread or expand. Sardonic, sample sentence: the young man had a sardonic smile when the security officer asked him if he saw when the park attendant abused the fan. Sardonic, adjective meaning to scorn or mock. Stasis, sample sentence: during the pandemic, many people learned how doctors use stasis in the form of a medically induced coma to help patients battle their illness. And there we can see stasis used as a noun, signifying equilibrium state or to achieve balance. Another way to remember stasis is always from sci-fi movies, when some movies speculate that stasis has been interrupted for space travel, and that would signify interruption of balance or equilibrium state. So that's another way to remember that word or make that association, especially if you're a sci-fi fan. So there we have 12 new words that we've actually taken a look at. Let's take once again a reading comprehension. We see the importance of the reading comprehension, and you can actually see the checklist here. It allows you to review word structure and each synonym, increase word recall power for standardized exams, draw inferences, and think critically. So now that we've completed the reading, the 12 definitions, let's take a look at those reading comprehension exercise again. Many historians believe that cupidity has a role in the decay of society. However, its declivity can also be sourced to corruption. Simply put, greed and corruption, there you can see the former and latter reference, are believed to be the root causes of society's moral decay. Historians will study the propagation of the 2019 global virus for many years to come, and medical professionals will reflect on the efficacy of medical-induced coma and its correlated relationship to the survival rate. And then we see teenagers have a tendency to rebel against their parents' officious intrusion into their privacy, a type of interference that is often the principal root of discord between parents and their teenage children. So there we can see the direct correlation between remembering what the word is, its definition, use in a sentence and in a passage, so that should any of these words appear on your standardized exams, then you will have seen them used in a previous package, and that will increase your recall power very quickly, and you'll be able to actually examine the word, how it's used in context in that particular usage in the exam to finding the correct answer. So that is our goal with these exercises. So let's take a look at Volume 2, Chapter 2, synonym matching exercise here. And these are the words on the left: ballet, cacophony, contentious, all the way down to stasis. And we have their synonyms on the right. So probably a good idea if you want to take a screenshot or print out this screen, start correlating the word to its matching synonym and see if you can get them right for our next chapter, which will be Volume 2, Chapter 3. Just to match a few, and we can take a look at prefixes once again. Sardonic, sarcastic, propagate, increase, and we see meddlesome. We knew that meddlesome from the use of the word when we were using it with reference to teenagers and parents. Meddlesome, officious, and then we see that edify, very, very closely related to its synonym, enlighten, and we'll leave the rest for you to map so that you'll actually remember. But if you do go over some of the definitions and the sample sentence, it will be pretty easy for you to actually go ahead and do this exercise and have it ready for our next chapter, Chapter 3, Volume 2, when we do release it. So, as always, we want to thank you once again for tuning into Bao News Network for our latest Volume 2, Chapter 2, Perfect English Grammar exercise. We did take a look at 12 more words, and we're adding and expanding our vocabulary universe so that you'll be getting closer and closer to our list of 500 of the most common words that we believe will appear on your next standardized exam. And we take a look at their tricky synonyms. We try to do memory recall exercises such as reading comprehension, sample sentences, as well as word to synonym matches, so that you'll be able to increase your recall power. And of course, here's a checklist once again. Those exercises help you to think critically, draw inferences, look at word structure. It's all together, all working together to achieve one goal, and that is to help you recall these words at the right time, especially on those exams when you're faced with tricky synonyms. A lot of times the synonyms will appear on these exams versus the word itself. So if you've actually used a word in a sample sentence or a reading comprehension exercise, most likely you'll be able to know what that synonym means, even though it might be a little bit tricky. So this is a great way for you to fine-tune your grammar skills as you prepare for your TOEFL, SAT, or any other standardized exam. Our goal is to help you increase your English grammar skills, and also to expand your vocabulary universe. and that will help you with your overall reading, writing, and listening comprehension. So, as always, thank you for watching Vol News Network, our latest Volume 2, Chapter 2 release for our Perfect English Grammar series. By all means, please like this video and also subscribe and hit the notification bell. And you can also share this video with friends who may also be preparing for tests. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day. Thanks.